Okay, after retargeting some placeholder animations for our new 3D model and implementing a new strafing system to help improve our player movement in the game, let's see how it looks.
Oh dear. Okay, so some context to this. Last year, I graduated from the University of California, Irvine to become a game developer. During my time there, I've helped host the first campus-wide video game convention as an events coordinator for the Video Game Development Club at UCI called Z3 and created 3 video games. A tech demo based on Belle and Sebastian, a rhythm note highway video game where you flick the analog sticks to play the notes called The Cheat Code for Happiness Is, and finally an adaptive music rhythm boss arena game where you fight enemies in a musically driven world called We Got Company. Well that sounds familiar. No, don't worry, we'll get to that in a bit. And recently I have just announced to my close friends and colleagues that I've decided to continue developing this game a year later. You play as Maestro the Guide, a violin prodigy returning from a diplomatic mission to a home once glorious and beautiful, now bleak and hideous. From the dissonant staccato kingdom arose the Soli kingdom like a symphonic phoenix. After years of harmony thanks to the prodigies appointed by the conductor, she suddenly takes her leave confident in the leadership of this new orchestral family. However, a mysterious melody begins to corrupt and seep through the boroughs and towns. Maestro the violinist, a diplomatic of the orchestral family, returns to find the kingdom corrupted. She must now face her friends, the corrupted prodigies, and return Soli Kingdom to once it once was. The samurai of musicians, the violinist, with the flick of her wrist, sounds a journey of 1,000 clashing blades, harmonious to the innocent, yet brutal to the prodigies. This game was originally a college capstone assignment, and it came to my mind as I sat in my room listening to some French music. After finishing development on the Cheat Code for Happiness Is, a part of me still wanted to do something that involved adaptive music. For those who don't know what adaptive music is, it's where the music of a video game reacts to the player's actions within the game. Games such as Monkey Island, Journey, and even Portal utilize adaptive music to make people even more immersed into a game and feel like their actions are being played alongside an accompanying cinematic orchestra. Orchestra, huh? And then it hit me. As I listened to Michael Legrand's song characterizing each instrument in the orchestral jazz family, and remembering the 2020 Tuba Boss meme, where people were making boss themes for a hypothetical tuba boss, I was inspired, like many before me apparently, to have a game where you fight through each one of the orchestral family in an epic duet that plays like a mix between Dark Souls and Nier Automata. However, making this idea a reality was something I was very unsure about, because in terms of scope, I only had 2 quarters to accomplish this. Also, at the time, adaptive music was very much unexplored in terms of implementation, or how to properly make it work. A big barrier that I would have to face in making a game like this was rhythm. I did not want to make a system where timing attacks to button presses was the only way to have both the player and the music sound good and cohesive. Especially after I had made Cheat Code, I wanted this game to be accessible for everyone. Something then caught my attention in the same song by Michael Legrand, the part where he sings about the violin. The violin is so light that with the flick of its bow sets itself aflight. I then started thinking that a violin could be the easiest way to implement adaptive music in a student-made video game. When you play a note on violin, the sound is immediate enough so that when you start or stop in the middle of that note, it still sounds like it makes sense. It still sounds like you're playing a violin no matter where in the note you're at. Unlike a drum or even a piano, where the hit has to resonate to sound full and believable, which in turn requires rhythm, theoretically any instrument that produces continuous notes can serve as a means to have adaptive music play seemingly without rhythm. Theoretically. Please note, I am not a musician, I'm just a gamer. After pitching the game to people and recruiting my A-team, I was still unsure whether or not my teammates would take my proposal to make a game with adaptive music. However, when I did, my main composer said, "Yeah, let's do it." After that, the rest of the game followed suit. Through the help of my awesome team, the adaptive music middleware called Fmod, and careful design choices, our small boss encounter of a game was produced within the next 2 quarters. Some things to note during that time was, during our second quarter of development, Hi-Fi Rush had released, which both validated and made us anxiously determined to see developing the game through. We also noticed that Hi-Fi Rush took the more difficult route of having rhythm mechanics in the game. This, coupled with another game we heard that was in development called Sword of Symphony, also utilized a rhythmic battle system that focused extremely on execution. As such, we took pride in having a game where one does not need to worry about overly precise button presses, and focused on making it accessible for any gamers familiar with the third-person genre. We also won 2 competitions within Orange County, first from the IEEE GameSake competition for Most Innovative Audio and User Interface.
The second special award is for UC Irvine for Innovative Audio and User Interface for We've Got Company. The Art Deco look was extraordinarily well carried out.
And a $100 mini grant for Student Game Developers Alliance Summit, which enabled us to make our very own Steam page. It's down in the description. Whee!
Alright, so the second mini grant for the summit for 2023 goes to We Got Company. So We Got Company was developed by, and then there's a whole list of names, so be prepared. And apologies if I mispronounce anyone's names. Jason Pambuena, Yenchi Nguyen, Hunter Drummond, Ashley Masuda, Hong Dong-bu, Darius Friedhoff, Haley Inzanza, Nicholas Asakura Miyazaki, Nelson Menkos, Emily Chavez, Matthew Shin, Anna Park, Josiah Lomax, and Edem Sedor at UC Irvine. So for a game inspired by a meme, and it says that on the description page, We Got Company takes the epicness of action games to a new level with the use of dynamic music in its main gameplay. It's not an exaggeration to say that the showcase team, when playing this game, literally got chills when the intro played with the epics, narration, story, and music. And we hope this mini grant helps further the development of this game, such as adding new bosses, new instruments, and music, or expanding the world and preparing it for a full release.
So where are we now with this game? Like I mentioned, I announced about a month ago to my colleagues that I was interested in continuing development for this game. And as you've seen in the beginning, we're in the process of improving models and improving player movement to be as satisfying as possible. We also have a lot planned for the amount of potential this game has, from adding different violin playstyles to being able to change the pitch of the violin to gain an edge in combat, and all the while having the music still sound like you are playing a fierce, cohesive duet with the bosses you encounter. Beyond that, I'm hoping to be able to spread word about our game and reach as many people as possible through festivals, competitions, and you watching this new Devlog series. I hope to get more people excited on experiencing another adaptive music arena game like Hi-Fi Rush and Sword of Symphony. And last, but certainly not least, I'm hoping that you all will come join our company on this journey to make it possible. Stay tuned!
Ba-da-ba-da.